Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna interview my partner Jeff about how he come to Philippines and all that kind of stuff and the things that you want to know, guys. Because some of my viewers they ask some questions, so I will ask a few questions about how you come to Philippines. Is it okay for you?
It's
I
okay
made
for me.
yeah, I made a little questions here, just a few, okay? So
Okay.
it's a secret, okay? So first, how do you find the place of this Philippines?
Fine.
How do you come here? How do you find this place through internet, through
Oh,
what?
not
Through
how,
YouTube?
no.
You
How
really
do I
love
find? How do I
again.
find it? Was how did I find?
Discover, okay, what
Okay,
other
that's a
term?
good one. How did I discover
Discover,
the
okay.
Philippines?
Okay.
I searched the internet about probably what was it? I think it was like in the mid-teens to 2015, somewhere around there, when Forbes came out with Dumaguete as one of the best places to retire, and I'd already been thinking about moving or having at least have a summer or a winter home in a place where it didn't snow. I didn't like snow, so I searched out the best places for people to retire out of the U.S. That there had to be three items that had to have. It would never snow there. It was cheap to live. It was economically to live, and it was you could get by with just English. You didn't have to really learn a new language. And I came up with three countries: Mexico, Panama, and the Philippines.
Okay. Um, okay. What are the things that makes you interested to visit the Philippines?
Well, I almost didn't come to the Philippines because when I was checking out these places, I'd been to Mexico quite a bit, so I started traveling around and through the interior of Mexico. There's one bad thing about Mexico. I like riding on motorcycles, and I was always thinking about traveling, across the country on a motorcycle wherever I was.
Okay.
In Mexico, everybody says it's dangerous. A lot of people do it, but a couple times I went from Puerto Vallarta to Guadalajara in a car, and there was a couple times we came back from Guadalajara to Puerto Vallarta and find out that someone had been ambushed on a car and killed, and so it just kind of was always in the back of my head. It wasn't very safe over there, especially in Puerto Vallarta, north of Puerto Vallarta to Mazatlan. That's when the Sinaloa cartels are and stuff. So that kind of made me worried there. I went to Panama, liked Panama, but Panama, it wasn't easy to get around with English there. The Spanish is way different than Mexican Spanish. There's an accent with theirs, and so it wasn't that easy. Very beautiful country, and they gave you a lot of benefits. But when I went to the next place I was going to come was to Panama. As soon as I started checking flights, it was like a week later they closed it down. So nobody, because of the pandemic. So I never made it.
COVID time.
So I had to wait till after the pandemic was over before I came here. And during that time, I ended up deciding on Mexico, and I purchased a condo, a pre-built condo, and so when I had like a year and a half before the condo would be done, so they opened up the cruises. I'm a cruise guy. I started cruising for a long time, and then when I was on the cruise, the Filipinos that worked on the cruise line, I talked to them about the Philippines, and I really wanted to go there, but they can't get in there. And I remember a lot of them remembered that and came up to me when they opened it up. And so as soon as I got off the cruises I had booked, I booked a flight to come to the Philippines, and I haven't left.
place that you landed in the Philippines?
Well, I was watching, about a month before I came, because I had to book a flight like 2.5 months out to get one that was affordable. So I was watching all the videos I could, and Geo was one of the guys, Geo on the Go, or Geo
In the Philippines.
Geo in the Philippines.
Okay.
And he said first best place to go was Cebu, so that's where I went. He said Manila was just too big, so go to Cebu, and he also recommended moving around a little bit, and I just came, didn't know I was going to stay, and figured I talked to 3 women, and I planned on meeting all 3 of them. So one week I was in the Cebu, the next week I was in Leyte, and the following week I was in Negros and Dumaguete. So
Yes, some choices, guys. So, okay. First, you landed in Cebu, yeah? So, what's your first impression when you saw the place? You came from America to Mexico. So, first impression about the place, like when you landed and you see the place of Cebu. So, what's your first impression?
well, I guess
okay,
I wasn't shocked because I watched the YouTube channels about it. I knew about the poverty and the disparity between people that have and have not. So it wasn't a shock to me. The things that shocked me was, it was very easy. I got off the plane. Gio said, "Go do the white cab, don't do the yellow cab." I went right to the white cab. It took
Taxi.
But the biggest shock to me was I got in that cab, and it took I think it was 30 minutes to get from Cebu Airport to
Goldberry.
Goldberry
That's your
by
first
Ayala,
stop.
Goldberry Hotel, and and it was 330 pesos, and I'm thinking, you got to be kidding.
That's what the
Is that,
hotel that told me when you first
just
come.
On my way here, I took a Uber from Los Angeles Airport to where was it? I went to my hotel at Los Angeles. I was thinking it was when I go on a cruise, I take it from the Los Angeles Airport to the cruise port, which is about the same distance. And the last time I did that, it was $90. So here I was with something under $6 for a 30-minute ride compared to the U.S. 90. So that's what shocked me, was I couldn't believe how low cost it was. And at that time, because it was just opening up here because of COVID, they let people in. That hotel, it was like $18 a night. It was a nice hotel.
So you discovered that it was so
very,
cheap,
very
cheap.
inexpensive.
Okay.
And I was always glad that Mexico was cheap, but it's less expensive in the Philippines.
Okay, since you mentioned a little bit of transportation, so okay, how do you find of having a transportation, or how do you find it? Is it easy to for the transportation, like if you want to go to some other places, like for example taxi or a tricycle or a jeepney? Is it hard for you to do that, or to book a Grab, something like that? How do you find that? Is easy or?
Well, it depends on where you're at. So I've been around so much, so it depends on where you're at. When I first came, to Cebu, it was easy just to get a taxi, and I never knew Grab. I finally got Grab on there, but I think I was here a week in Cebu. I just walked around because everything was so close there. I really didn't travel anywhere. And then after that, I met you in Leyte and spent a week with you, and we rented a car, and drove around.
Yeah.
And so I was looking at Leyte and going, this isn't that nice a place. I was in Tacloban, and so it was so crowded in that city. I'm kind of going, wow, this isn't a big city. And Cebu's crowded, but Tacloban is just as crowded in the city. I mean, you got just as much
in
traffic.
The downtown area.
So I think we rented the car, and that but it was easy to get around. It's just we tried to stay out of the city, I remember. And then after that I went to Dumaguete. I was there I think for maybe 4 or 5 days, and ended up I rented an Airbnb type thing. It wasn't very nice. It was kind of off the beaten track, no stores around or anything. So I think 3 or 4 days I was there, and then I left and went to Go Hotels right there next to the Robinson's Mall, and it was easy to walk around everything. But then I just remembered that the one time when I had to take a trike to get from the Airbnb to Robinson's Mall. I'm 6'1", you know, and I don't know how these guys that are 6'4" and bigger get in them, because it's hard enough for me to get in. So I went down and bought a motorcycle, and so
Just bow your head inside like this.
Yeah.
The tricycle. Okay.
So I bought a Honda ADV, and so that made all the difference in the world. And I was going around, but then I think that kind of made me kind of stay. And then I found a place, a studio bedroom apartment that was only $6,000 a month, and I'm thinking, my gosh, $6,000 a month, that's like $120 at the time. So I think all that together made me stay there, you know, and I was there for 4 or 5 months.
Okay, since you mentioned already about the place, okay, I don't have to ask you. It's already clear that how you find the place. Okay, next, what was the food, if you remember, what was the first food that you ate? Filipino food that you first ate. Okay.
Probably the first Filipino food we had was rice.
Rice? You have rice in the U.S. It's not
Yeah,
your
we have
first
rice,
time.
but yeah,
Okay,
well,
some other.
every once in a while I would get rice. We get they have minute rice. They have the rice, regular rice. I
Okay.
make rice, but when I eat rice, it was just rice with some butter on it and a little salt and
Okay.
another mix with it. Well, we also have like rice-a-roni in a package. You know, it's all rice with a bunch of spices and stuff, and you cook it on a stovetop, and it's okay. But I've never been a rice eater.
Yep. Okay. Forget about rice because the rice is the first menu, like Filipino food. Set aside the rice. So what's the Filipino food? Do you still remember?
The chicken that's got the sweet sauce, adobo chicken. Is that it?
Adobo. Okay. Adobo. Did you like it?
No, I'd rather have just chicken without the sauce.
Okay.
I'm very plain, and I don't like to have flavored steaks. I don't like to have marinated meats. I like steaks and meats to taste the way they are naturally. Chicken's the same way.
Okay.
You know?
So okay, let's talk about how about the culture? Is it bothering you? Like for example, if there are fiesta, it's all over the Philippines. There are fiesta, there are Pintados festival. There is what you call in Cebu lately the one they have in Cebu. What's that? Sinulo, something like that. So how you go along with this kind of stuff? So what can you say about this kind? Because cultures here in the Philippines, sometimes it bothers you. Does it bothers you, or you don't even care about it?
No, it doesn't bother. I remember just the other day we were watching the video of a regular guy, and he's woken up with these drum playing at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's playing drums and something. He doesn't know whether it's a funeral or what. And I woke him up, and he has to go down the hall of his hotel and look out the window, find out what's going on. All he's saying all these cuss words, and I'm upset. And no, it doesn't upset me at all. I just
but I know you didn't really experience like in your neighborhood. Like for example, if you rented a just normal Airbnb or apartment, some people are having videoke or there are parties or something like that, but you didn't experience like that kind of stuff.
When I was in Dumaguete,
like you
friends-
cannot
friends-
sleep because it's too noisy.
But
Something
no,
like that.
I don't have any problem sleeping. I only hear out of one ear, so I just put that ear on the pillow. And
Okay, that's
I can go to sleep. So I guess that's a benefit here.
benefit because he couldn't hear.
I
Okay.
can go to sleep.
Okay,
let
okay.
the sound.
Okay, let's forget about that. So there's a solution for that. So how do you get along with Filipinos? Like
Well, I don't know. I know your brothers. You have how many brothers? 5? They haven't beat
how do
me
you
up
get
yet.
along? Like
so-
for example, some of them don't know English. So is it hard for you? Sometimes you want to communicate with them, but then you just prefer maybe not to talk because you cannot.
Well, I
you
talk
cannot
if they
understand.
understood me, but they don't understand.
But you don't feel like out of place or something like that.
No,
You're
it's
just okay with that.
It's just like we have the lot. We had a house, a wall built around the lot, and we had a bunch of workers over there. It's frustrating because I want to tell them that they're, they're going a different direction, or that they need to do something a different way than what they're doing. And sometimes, but I think by the time that project ended, I think the first part they didn't trust me. They didn't think I knew what I was talking about. And this is just a crazy expat, this crazy American. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
They don't
And then after I went home and built a couple things and just brought them out there and said, this is what I want you to use. Then they go, wow, okay, this guy, and then it worked out okay. So, but I think you get if you have a good translator. Mylene's my translator, so she was able to get if they didn't get the right message, then Mylene would come over and translate for me.
So how do you find the people here in the Philippines? Are you safe, or you feel at home, or what can you say about the people?
What keeps me here is I think
so everybody knows what's the attitude of the Filipinos towards a foreigner like you, like expats.
Well,
for those people that you don't know.
I think most of the people are so kind to expats because they know we have money. We have more money than they, and so it's always being kind because it can benefit them in some way. I don't know, but that's kind of the way it's in the back of my head. But in reality, everybody's kind here. One of the reasons I stay here was I had the motorcycle. I've got another motorcycle now, but we've traveled all over the place. And before I was with Mylene, I drove it all over Mindanao, Cebu, Negros, and never once did I worry that if I broke down, somebody was going to rob me. If anything, if I broke down, somebody would come out of the jungle and ask if they could help me. Because that's the thing. If I was in Mexico, I'd be scared to death to have a motorcycle break down, especially at night or somewhere in the evening just before it gets dark. Oh no, I would never even think about riding a motorcycle cross country there. But here, that's one of the things I feel safe. So I guess you could put that under the category of how I feel about Filipinos. I trust them. Yeah.
Okay, this is the most exciting part. Okay, how about dating? How do you find dating in the Philippines?
I didn't date much.
Huh? Now tell the truth. So how did you find dating? Okay, tell the truth. Nothing but the truth.
Well, okay, so I met probably about a dozen women, while I was here. Only 3 of them I met and spent time with. All the other ones were just one meeting and done, kind of thing. So most of them, very very easy. That they're just want to have somebody that they can take advantage of. I think the majority of the women were just looking for somebody like a sugar daddy. We wanted somebody with money, and so.
Am I included in that sugar daddy?
What?
Am I included in that sugar daddy?
No. Mylene is when my first meeting with her, she never asked me for money. She never asked me for anything. In fact, it was me. I had to pry it out of her that she was in debt, and so I could help her, before she would let me. She never once asked me. And the thing is, the first 3 places I went, I met nice women. The third place I went, I stayed in that relationship for a few months. And what didn't work out, but then we reconnected, and it's turned out good since then. So. But I really didn't. It was only like for the first year that I was.
During the first time we met, he left me and never contacted me anymore. But then he comes back to me. Maybe some of those 12 women that he dated, he was thinking always about me. That's why he come back to me. So that's why we are together now.
That's true. I always kept thinking that Mylene was the nicest woman. She's the kindest, most gentle woman I've ever met, and so we've had our arguments since, but she's still very nice, very cute, very
cute talaga. So okay, what about the cost of living? You already mentioned a little bit about it. So in general, how do you find, or what's the best explanation about cost of living in the Philippines in general?
So I never worry about it because I don't have to. I mean, everybody comes here. You look at the vlogs on YouTube, and everybody's got the cost of living, their budgets, and everything. And I just never worried about it because I had a little savings. I have a good retirement, and so I've never overspent. So it's not in my mind all the time. So, and also, you know, we've bought I bought 2 condos here, and I also bought a townhouse and some land. So I'm not worried about it. You know, I'm not filthy rich, but you don't have to be filthy rich to buy something. You can just have a good life, a good little savings, and so many people that worry about buying property of YouTube channels that just say just don't do it, just keep renting. But my problem was if I rented someplace and I wanted to do something with it, well, why do I want to put all this money into this place and then have the people say, well, we're going to raise the rent, or well, my cousin wants to rent it, you know, or we're going to sell it, you know, it's the same problem that we have in the U.S. If you don't own it, you don't control it. So,
Okay. Yeah. Do you have anything more to say? Sorry.
well, I was going to say that as far as cost of
living, yeah.
it's very the cost of rent, or living and stuff, or the housing.
Yeah, something like that. So the information of everybody, if it's affordable, something like that, affordable for those who are retiree that are just having the regular retirement benefits, they are just having like that kind of budget. So your suggestion to them, and if they can afford, do you have any?
I think it's between here and Vietnam, this is between those 2 places. You're not going to find much cheaper places to live, you know. So if you're worried about how much it costs to live here, maybe you shouldn't come here. You should just stay home, because if you can't afford to live here on your own, if you have some money, you know, you can't work here. That's the problem. Unless you like YouTube channels or something like that, you can't have a job. So you're gonna have to do something that's not sourced from Filipinos.
Like for example, if a retiree, just how much is the minimum? Let's put about $1,500. Will it be sustainable if you live in the Philippines?
Well,
About that?
I guess so. When I first came, it was $6,000 for the rent, and then usually it was like $4,000 for the power. So that's $10,000. That's $180. So that's how much you have to pay to have a place to live that has air conditioning, and then you got to buy food. So the food's probably going to be the next expensive thing.
You should just be disciplined.
So, yeah, you can spend $20 a day on food, and still it's only $600. So that puts it at what? Now you're up to $800 or $900, and then if you want to go places, you want to buy rent a motorcycle or something, you can do that. You can live very cheaply if you want.
Yeah.
But I never was trying to live cheaply. I was just trying to enjoy. I just came here to enjoy the freedom. You have freedom here you don't have in the States. And the meaning of that is, when you're in the States, you have your car insurance, you have your mortgage, you have your house insurance. You have all these fees that go along with it, and then it costs you so much to do anything. It's just like you bleed money in the States, and here you could have Social Security, and at the end of the month you have money left over. So.
Okay, guys, 1,500 is sustainable. You just have to be disciplined, maybe when it comes, maybe they over budget, or it depends on you want to live like cheaper budget, or just based on your budget, how much you want. But it's sustainable for 1,500. Okay, so it's just for the information of everybody, because in your situation you don't have a problem.
Yeah,
so I just want to give the information to them.
You can live cheaply, but
yeah.
believe me, there's a lot of YouTube channels out there that'll tell you how cheap you can live.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I don't think any of them are realistic. I think most of them, they might be true, but I'm sure, you know, I think most of them are spending more than that on other things.
Yeah,
They're telling you the
yeah.
basics,
It's the-
and so you got to remember you're gonna have incidentals all the time. So
Yeah.
you make sure. I would say take what your rent, your food, you know, your power that you're gonna need, and then maybe a rental on a motorcycle. Take that much money and double it. And if you got that, then come over. But you're still taking a chance if that's all you got. Say you get in a motorcycle wreck, and then everything goes to
Yeah.
pot.
Yeah, but for sure, before they come, they don't like. They will not come with the monthly income only. Maybe they will just they will have in their pocket like for example, of course they will bring with them some money, not just
some
depend
spending
on
money.
the.
But they're not bringing 50
depend.
grand with them that are 100 grand, which I think you shouldn't be living over here unless you got at least 100 grand.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not the thing that they will come with the pension. We call it pension in the Philippines.
That's
In
a
your
pension, yeah.
case,
That's a pension, yeah.
in your case, what do you call that one?
Well, Social
Social
Security, I have
Security.
Social Security and a
So
pension.
for sure they have some pocket money before they come. So 1,500 you will still enjoy if you really like discipline when it comes to budget. Yeah.
Figure 2,000. Figure 2,000.
Okay.
It's went up since I came, so I think 2,000. The problem with me is since we have places that we bought, all we pay is the electricity and the food, and that's
Yeah, yeah.
and then water, but water's
Water.
minimal, so.
Yeah.
That's
You're even paying.
condo fees. We have to pay
You're
condo
paying,
fees.
yeah, that's
my,
what I
my
want to
big
tell
condo fee is this condo.
Yeah,
it's
that's-
$65 a month. So
Yeah,
that's my.
Yeah, that's why we want this one to be rented, so to sustain your expenses. Okay. So yeah, because this is just, you know, guys, this is just, I'm telling him that this is just like sitting here for how many months already? Years.
Yeah, but we use it.
Yeah,
we
so-
use it, we come and go.
Yeah, he has another condo, so we plan. So I will
Well,
have a video
let's
about
explain.
that.
Let's explain this to
Yeah.
we
We'll
have.
make-
I have two condos.
Yeah.
Okay? This one we have.
We will explain this
Oh,
one
you
in
wanna
our
talk-
next
yeah.
video.
Next
so,
video. Next video.
because
Yes,
yeah.
next video.
So okay, next question. Don't see. Okay, how hard is it for you to rent or find an Airbnb or an apartment in the Philippines? Is it hard for you to rent or to find which one, where, what place, something like that?
Yeah, it's very hard. I was in Dumaguete.
Place that you like.
Yeah, I found that studio pretty easily once I got there, but that was because they were just starting to let foreigners back in, so there was a lot of places that were empty. And I think the place that I found it was built, but they closed the Philippines off to foreigners just before that was finished. So they just kind of had a skeleton crew working on it until they opened it up again. So, but anyway, when after a year later, after I was here a year, I moved and moved to Valencia, and I was looking for a place to move for like 2 months before that, and just never could find one that was decent. I mean, most of them were something I wouldn't want to live in. So yeah, it was very hard then, and then so after that, it was like we went to Leyte Tacloban area looking for some place we could rent, and we were thinking we were going to rent and then build, and then Mylene found the townhouse, you know, that we looked at a year before, and
Yeah, when we
it
first met.
it was only
They were-
being sold to government workers, right?
Yeah, it was just for the government workers.
And then they opened it up for
like after
anybody,
2 years
anybody,
to
and
public. Yeah.
and we were lucky because
There was
we
one.
wouldn't even want one way back in the back of these 100 townhouses.
Yeah,
But there was one on the main road, just right close to the front, that was really easy to get in and out of. And the person that wanted it wanted to give it back, right? Wasn't it?
yeah.
We backed out of the deal.
Back out, yeah.
So we
That's why we avail.
it was the only one available.
Yes, that's the time that we were looking for somewhere to rent, some place to live, and then it pops up in Marketplace. Yeah, that's the one that pop up in Marketplace, and then we tried to look for it, and
So
then,
we jumped on it, yeah.
yeah, and then he really wants the place because it's just very easy to come and go out of the area because it was just near to the
The lot we bought, the property we bought.
property that he bought, and then also it's just not too much farther from the gate. Yeah, it's
with the-
accessible
it's-
whenever you want
yeah.
to go out. It's so quick. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then okay, my last question: how long you've been here, and your total conclusion about Philippines?
Well, I'm still here, so it's a good conclusion. I mean, I'd like to stay here.
Because nowadays, lately, they've been talking about living abroad outside the Philippines. Are you not convinced? Because
No.
they are telling everybody in YouTube that better to check in Vietnam, Penang.
And we've talked about that. I don't want to build a house in the lot in Leyte until we visit and spend some time in Vietnam. We went on there on a cruise last year.
Cruise,
We
yeah.
couldn't get a cruise this year that stopped there,
Mm.
but so I've told Mylene. I said probably within this next year
Check.
we'll take a vacation over there and just go straight over to Da Nang, probably, and then maybe over to Thailand. I think a place called Hue Hin or Chiang Mai,
Chiang Mai, yeah.
and spend time there too. Maybe do a vacation for a few weeks and maybe hit all of them, each one of those per week. But just to see what they're like before we decide. But you know, the one thing about Philippines that is kind of on the low side is the infrastructure. You know, when you go to a town and you have streets that have sidewalks, it makes so much nicer. It seems so much nicer. I know there's places here that have sidewalks, but out in the province, there's usually not. And when you go from town to town, it seems like every town's kind of the same. There's sidewalks in the town sometimes, sometimes not. But it's really nice to go. We just spent some time in Singapore, to where you can get on a subway and just have it take you anywhere. It's so nice, and it'd be nice to have some place like that. But we want.
Yeah, but the cost of living is expensive. Of
But
course.
because of the YouTube channels that say that, yeah, you should try Vietnam, because now it seems like Vietnam, there's more retirees going to Vietnam than the Philippines. In the Philippines, the retirees are dropping. So we see the writing on the wall. Let's go check it out. No?
Yeah.
It's not like we're anchored in here. We can rent our properties out and go off and have somebody manage them here. So it's still I haven't found a better place yet. So, but we'll still keep an open mind.
Yeah, okay. You mentioned a little bit of the interacting or communicating with people here. So, what about the language, or I mean how you communicate to people? Is it hard for you, or like in general, wherever you are, a part of the Philippines, is it comparable to other countries that they will understand you clearly, compared to Vietnam, Thailand? What can you say about?
Well, like I said, I have a disadvantage because I'm hard of
Language
hearing. I
barrier.
only have one ear that works. So if you're not, I can hear Mylene now, even though that right ear doesn't work, because we're in a quiet atmosphere. But if there's any kind of sound, music or anything, I could not hear what she's saying when she's sitting right next to me. She has to get right on my left side.
Left side, yeah.
So I can't even think about. I can't communicate with anybody out in the open in crowded capacities or anything like that. So I just don't even think about trying to learn the language or things like that, because if I can't hear, I can't talk, and it's just so I'm at a disadvantage just to talk about that. So, but I always can get my thoughts across to people. What I want to say. It's usually just a little difficult, but it's not just because it's here; it's anywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, the language barrier between you and Filipinos, is it
Well, there's less
easier in
language-
Philippines?
There's less language barrier here than in Thailand, and we just got back from Malaysia too. Malaysia there wasn't very many people that spoke English there. Thailand, there is almost everybody in the tourist areas. The shops they'll speak a little English.
Yeah,
I mean, we met one shop owner that she didn't speak English, and she was kind of rude to us because she didn't because she couldn't answer the questions. But in Vietnam, it's probably just as bad. That's the thing that would probably hold me back from going some other place. The Philippines, there's enough people that speak English.
Yeah, if there's what's good in the Philippines, if someone like you are talking to someone and someone beside him, that guy, like for example, that guy cannot explain it to you. The next to him, like for example, anyone next to him, they will help explain to you. The experience,
a lot of people are bilingual.
Yeah, that's the attitude of the Filipinos. If someone is like talking to Jeff, like for example, and then someone hear that guy that he doesn't explain it good to him, someone will help for that guy to explain to Jeff. That's the good side of the Filipinos. They usually help, not all, but most of us, they offer a help. Yeah, you experience that one, honey, yeah? Because they are helpful. Some Filipinos are helpful for especially foreigners. That's the best thing, the attitude of the Filipinos, because they are helpful for that kind of stuff. So okay, next question. So can you suggest anyone, like foreigners, retiree, last words for those people who want to come and like they are already discouraged because now the what do you call, the rate of Philippines already been down for coming here to retire. So few words to them.
Oh, I just repeat what Gio was on his video telling me. Just come, come and visit. Stay for at least a couple of weeks. You come for a week, you don't really, you're going to do all the touristy things and then you're going to get bored. But just if you want to live here, you want to be here where you're not, just stay away from the tourist areas, go to the other areas, just see what it's like, and then move around,
Yeah.
I think what I did was just perfect. I went to 3 different islands within the first 3 weeks, and met a lot of people.
Yeah, met a lot of women.
I'm not one to go to the beach, so I did go to the beach a couple of times, but it's not like it's the most exciting time for me. I don't get in the water much because of my ear, and so, for me that was the best thing for me to do. Just come.
I am his ears.
And so come. But the one thing I would suggest, and I had to do this. I let my motorcycle license expire, and I took it off when I came here. Then I had a problem. I have a license. Don't if you take your American license, give it to the division,
LTO.
Licensing division, LTO.
Yeah, LTO.
They'll just give you a new one. They'll just trade you with bring. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a motorcycle's license, they won't put a motorcycle on there. So you have to go in and take it and apply for a motorcycle license. And you have to go through all the stuff, and there's a lot of times where they'll only take 30 people at the LTO to go out and do the driving test on a motorcycle a day. And so there'll be people lined up at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, because there's going to be like 200 people that want to do that day. So, and it'll be full by 6 o'clock, and they may be open at 8 or 9, and they'll be standing there in line the whole time. I mean, in Dumaguete it was this way. So I would make sure that if you come here and you want to get around, you think that you could get a motorcycle, if you haven't been on a motorcycle, you better rent one and get used to riding it, because you better know how to ride on 2 wheels, or else you're gonna have to rely on trikes. Now, another thing, when I moved from Dumaguete to Valencia is like 30 minutes up the hill. That was a problem, because there's no trike or anything that'll go from Valencia to the airport.
Yeah.
There's a jeepney that'll go from Valencia to the mall, but
not to the area where you rent.
Not to the airport.
No.
And again, it doesn't go to the place I rent. I have to get from my apartment to the place where the jeepney is,
Yes.
and that's a 20-minute walk uphill.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be carrying luggage on that. So the only way I could get there is I have to have a private van, you know, and it was 1,000 pesos, which is like $18.
And you don't have communication about that. You have to go to the town, like in Valencia proper. You will go there and contact someone that I have a flight later on. Can you come this time? So that's the way he had his transportation in that area in Valencia.
It was always a problem.
Yeah, it's always a problem. So,
you know,
but coming from the airport to your place where you
there'll be a van there. You can hire a van and take you
because
back.
it's from the airport.
But it'll be very expensive. You know.
Expensive.
You know, the normal ride would
1,000.
would be like if you had a Grab car somewhere, it would be maybe 300 to 400, and they're going to charge you 1,000 pesos with that van.
So that's for the information of everybody. If you're living, like usually retiree prefer to go to Valencia. I mean Dumaguete. You have also to check also the place. If there is transportation, it's okay from town, like from Dumaguete proper, or from Boulevard, from airport to your place that you are renting. So you have also to check the area if there's any means of transportation from your place to the town.
Yeah,
so
what she means is in Cebu and Manila, you can get a Grab.
Yes,
and
in
Grab's,
the cities.
Grab's an app like Uber, but you can get like an Uber type car, or you can get a taxi, either one. But the thing is in Dumaguete they don't have that.
Yes.
In Tacloban they don't have that. But they just barely started having this Maxim. App at Tacloban, which we've used a couple times coming back.
About that.
We're happy about that. So it's made it for us to feel a lot better about the lot we bought, because now we can actually get a ride. We took a ride from our townhouse to the airport the last time, and I scheduled it a day before, which was great.
We just have to book it earlier.
You schedule it, and if somebody accepts it, they're going to be there the next morning, and it worked out great. So, but not every place has the transportation, and even a lot of them don't even have the motorcycle.
So most retiree, they're interested to buy some motorcycle in order for them to have like easier transportation than renting or chasing for a taxi or cab or whatsoever. So guys, last word, if you come to Philippines, it's either you are in the middle of the jungle. If you have motorcycle, someone will come and help you whenever you have problems. So
they probably will, not for sure.
That's the good side also of the Philippines, especially in the province. So someone will come and help you. So guys, that's it for today, and I will be uploading some videos about his properties and what's his plan in the Philippines, and also we will be having advertisement in this
What are you doing?
channel about his condo for rent, long-term rent, and there is Airbnb, and also he was planning to sell his motorcycle 250 SR.
Both of them.
Also
I want a better one.
ADV 160. So we will be.
That's what I'm selling.
He's planning for that. So we will be updating you guys what will happen to our plan or his plan for everything that he has. So just tune in, and thank you for watching, and see you in my next one. Bye.
Bye.